All right, hello everyone, and welcome in to the Three-Digit World Cup Finals Showcase. Contrary to what it says on screen, this is the Finals Showcase, not semis, so we'll be getting that changed shortly. But yeah, excited to preview a lot of the maps for the second to last weekend of the tournament. A lot of very good matchups coming up this next weekend. I'm Dio. I am here with the host of the tournament and also the guy behind the Mappools. Hello, Nick. What's poppin'?
Hello. I am really tired, but let's get this done.
Yeah. All right. First up is Nomad 1. This is Yane featuring Hatsune Miku, Marionette no Kairaku, the manipulative diff map by Skyflame.
If you know Vocaloid, like Miku, you know the song. This is probably one of the lesser known Skyflame custom Nomad ones. Of course, again, not much to say, just it's just a Skyflame map. There's not, at least from like the playtesting and the replays, like consensus, this is the best we can do. And especially around this level of difficulty, we're kind of forced towards this if we want an actual quality map. Instead of there's still like those Yusumi and Arliss maps if you want an A map, but I'd much rather have like a quality map. It does the same thing. This one also a bit on the shorter end, 3 minutes on the dot. So not as lengthy as the usual one, not above 4 minutes. Still like that consistency aim test though, not a change there.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what people have come to expect from Nomad 1, I think. Just aim consistency. It's a good map. Hard to find stuff like this that is, especially 200 BPM and below. Once you get above 7.5 stars, it's really, really hard to find anything good that is you know, still around that BPM range. Start to get into stuff like 210, 220 is pretty common in 7.5 stars plus map pools.
Yeah, it's just a normal one, not much else to say, honestly. Fortunately though, as I said, on the shorter side compared to other normal ones, so it will be over quite soon. I thought Rizzo said he missed after the hard part, not during the hard part.
Yeah.
And this is not done by no one, as the replay name suggests, but done by Rizzo. A little bit of an aim player.
Yeah, Rizzo is pretty good at aim. Pretty good aim player. Okay, Nomad 2 now on the way. This is, of course, going to be the stream pick here. This is Aerial Fortress by Sai, mapped by Chemo. This is actually a custom map for this round, mapped specifically for the 3-digit World Cup.
Yeah, and actually one of two customs. Both are by Camo. You'll see the other one a bit later on. This one, again, just your classic Nomad 2. It's a little bit that the camo style that you don't really see that often. Personally, I'd say like not that clean compared to stuff like Knowledge King. But it does provide a different kind of challenge instead of being pure like infinity sign streams. A little bit more rhythm control. Just like these 1/3 sections every now and then, and some uneven note streams and doubles.
A lot of Axel decel streams in this map. Also, it looks like a lot of places where the spacing changes midstream, as opposed to a lot of Nomad 2s where you just don't get that kind of smooth acceleration or deceleration. You just get instant changes in spacing. It seems like there's a lot of more smooth acceleration and deceleration in these streams, which is harder for most players.
Yeah, basically just not a simple map, an actual challenging map.
Yeah, like this section. There we go. There's more of those.
Yeah.
More of the really tricky XL decel stream patterns that we were looking at before, and yeah, 200 BPM for this. This is A, rather stamina heavy. B, very very difficult to keep flowing together on when you are straining stamina that much. All right, and now onto the alt map. A map that I think a lot of people will be familiar with, Lost Umbrella by Inabakumori. The map set by Ogi this time, extra collab diff.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a map people are familiar with. Definitely a song people are familiar with. This one is an unranked by Ogi. I forget who the collab is with. I think there's another Filipino mapper. But yeah. It does follow the same rhythms, basically, as like all the other maps of this song, but a little bit different style. With it being Ogi, usually you see some weirder slider patterning. And this, of course, being like with the normal 3 last week, in between snap and flow aim. But a lot more focused on the aim part rather than having some longer note sections.
Yeah, there's no really long note chains in this map, where last week you got a lot of almost like low BPM stream sections in between some of the like star streams, right, in last weekend's pick. This one definitely heavier on snap aim and much heavier on aim control this weekend, I think, than last week, where you had some of this kind of snappy aim control here, but mixed with a lot of super heavy flow aim sections.
Yeah, also dipping a bit lower again in the BPM at 137. Could probably see some single taps again, especially with the chains being a bit shorter. We didn't see Nissan this week, so we didn't have that guaranteed normal 3 single tap. Maybe we'll see him again next week though. Yeah, definitely. Also, like you can definitely see that more focus on aim by the fact that the star rating has jumped from like 6.3 to basically 7 stars.
While we have a minute here, why don't we talk generally Mappool format? Still a full Mappool, right, this week. Any notable changes in any of the formatting this week? Are we looking at any differences in, for example, Double Time 4 this last weekend was a very different sort of pick. Any previews into that type of stuff?
Yeah, before this, Double Time 4 was more like alt, basically just alt gimmick sliders with sometimes burst, but nothing above 3 notes. There was a lot more finger control in this week's DD4, and from here on we're gonna look to kind of combine the two a bit more. So it's gonna be a lot more distinct than DD2. We'll see more on that later on.
Yeah.
First, Nomad 4.
It'd be Getty versus DJ Dia, Anti-Front Gears, the break action difficulty by Xavier Owens II. That is a Giga Chad mapper name. I love that username.
Xavier Owens II, also known as Tere. That's his like normal name. I think custom mapped for the Indonesian tournament, but a like edited version, which is still on the map set, even though it is now being updated with all the difficulties. This difficulty will remain unchanged, so don't worry about any updates. I didn't even I've hovered this map a few times and didn't even notice that this set got updated with my own difficulty. Yeah, really pushing into that same style of Nomad 4 that we saw last week, with a few more bursts rather than heavy slider focus. This still having that, I think the correct term would be Avalon Pill slider focus.
Yeah, I'm not sure what all this fancy mapper Avalon blue pill red pill shit is, but yeah, it looks a little bit more slidery than last week, that's for sure. There is still obviously a lot of burst control and cut streams in this map, but you get a lot more, for example, slider streams that weren't there last week. You have a lot of much higher velocity sliders this week, so I think a much more balanced Nomad 4 than this past week, where a lot of the difficulty was baked into those cut streams. This one looking much more like some of the early stage Nomad 4s.
Yeah, a bit more like those early stage Nomad 4s, but also still having the a little bit of that left-hand difficulty that was introduced last week. Here on this ending, there's some sliders that you need to hold for more than I think that it's it's 3/4. That's the time signature that you need to hold it for. So basically almost an entire beat, but not quite.
All right. And at this point, we're ready for our speed pick in Nomad. This is another a relatively different map. This one a custom map as well for this weekend. It is Rough Sketch X Canvas featuring Kimar Mayhem. Again, mapped by Kimo, second custom Kimo map for this map pool.
Yeah, finally starting to reach a bit higher in the BPMs. 249 is the actual BPM, even though it says 250 there. And yeah, it's the same style as Normal 2, being like same mapper. However, yeah, as you can see, it's it has a bit more aim. That's allowed, of course, in a Normal 5. It doesn't have to be full on streams. So this and this like beginning section more focused on burst and that aim. Then we'll see late after this little cooldown part a lot more focus on longer streams. A bit shorter than Xenobeat. But I think a bit more. Well, of course, it won't be as intense as Xenobeat throughout, but here's where we ended those longer streams. Pretty sure Xenobeat didn't have any streams of this length.
Yeah, 25 note streams at 250 BPM is really, really tough stuff. And then you still get 1/3 right afterwards there. This is definitely going to be a challenge for a lot of players. Into the consecutive burst section here is very, very tricky, even for relatively good speed players. I think we'll still see a lot of people break on this section in particular.
Yeah, here again, like those longer streams, those doubles there will. I'm pretty sure those doubles will catch people off guard. And then a little bit more burst spam on the ending.
All right, and that brings us to everyone's favorite map slot. It's Nomad 6. I think you all know this one. I'm not even going to introduce it. This is it's a classic.
A little bit of grid snapping, KTG stir mapping, CS5 AR8 but not in the free mod slot. Everyone is forced on no mod. I'm pretty sure this would be too hard, free mod, I think even in Grand Finals. Because with the... like in the entire tournament, we will not be going for that Devious Panda 2L mapping. Like, of course it's not all 2L, that's just what comes to mind with that mapping style. We're gonna be focusing more on low gimmick, low AR, low BPM sometimes, gimmick. Something like this. A map that will definitely require some practice. This is the start of Nope KJK replays. I think if I remember correctly, he just starts to go off after this, getting most of the replays in the rest of the pool.
Yeah, Nope KJK submitted a lot of scores for this pool. By the way, this replay is kind of sick. Also,
yeah,
just watching. Like I can't read the map just watching the replay. So it's kind of crazy. He can actually read this and play it properly. I don't know how people play this map. I will never understand how people can play system. This is just otherworldly to me. I can't even read the replay.
To be fair, it would help if there were custom combo colors in the map, so there would be some difference in combo colors other than it all being green from the default skin.
Yeah,
it helps immensely with reading, especially if you're used to combo colors.
All right. Well, hopefully everybody playing the tournament has a skin that is actually suited to that map instead of something like this skin, which is going to be a little bit interesting watching during the replays. But yeah, that does it for the Nomad pool. Let's go on to Hidden 1. It's Amanita by Marmalade Butcher. Not mapped by Devious Panda, though. This is a different set mapped by X Bowpost. The collab extra difficulty here.
Yeah, again, like one of those songs that is known. Though personally, I knew the set from I knew the song from this set rather than the Devious Panda one, and I think a lot more streamy than the usual Hidden 1. I forget what the collab is between. I know it's not Exprobost. I think it's Mirage and someone. See if I can speed on getting the map page up. It is Mirage and Panda Hero.
Yeah, definitely a lot streamier than your typical Hidden 1. Seems like a lot of the difficulty, kinda as with last week a little bit, is baked into the flow aim with this map. Hidden 1 last week kinda doing similar stuff at 210 BPM, but still the primary focus definitely on jump aim with both of these picks still. These Hidden 1 slots though, especially at the higher difficulties, tend to be a lot burstier than stuff like your Nomad 1 and Hard Rock 1, and I think that's just kind of par for the course for most players at this point. But it is something to keep in mind. If you're not good on your 200 BPM streams, especially with Hidden, this may not be the pick for you.
Yeah, some goes a little bit ham here. It's actually not as hard as it looks on this section, other than maybe that little bit of spacing. Like when the, for example, when the stream like cuts in half and separates, and I'm not sure to properly say that, you can just stick to the middle and still hit it. With practice, which people should be doing at finals, it's definitely like a lot easier than it looks. And of course it does pick up again a bit here. And like we said, a bit streamier than the previous Hidden ones. Very unfortunate slider break. And this is where it actually goes off.
Yeah, this section is that section's definitely hard. That section's definitely very hard.
Yeah, definitely the bulk of the difficulty of the map, but it's not like it changes style or anything. It's still like within the map, like in line with the rest of the map.
Yeah. Alright. Go on to Hidden 2, which is, I would assume, another flow aim pick. I actually haven't gotten the chance to look at the pools, but calling the Osu edit by Rejection, mapped by Raelazy here in Hidden this weekend.
Yeah, Raelazy, but it's a collab with Altai. Less streamier than usual than the previous Hidden 2s. Quite a bit more focused on the actual tech aspect. The only real streams are at the end of these build-ups, which are actually a slice stream, like that one. And then you get into cut streams. which are not near as lengthy as the Hidden One streams. Just a lot more technical.
Oh, that was a 1/6? Probably?
Yeah, 1/6.
Okay.
Yeah, this is more of what you'd expect from like what OWC does, for example, in a Hidden One, just less like lower BPM, stuff like Mind Disorder, and also less streamy, like more, like a little bit more finger control because of those 1/3 and 1/6.
Yeah, a lot of cut streams, a lot of slider aim in this difficulty actually, even as compared to previous Hidden 2s in this same slot. A lot of just high spacing stuff in general, and a lot of slider streams also this weekend. This is kind of, I think, an almost super slider heavy version of the types of maps that we have seen in this slot already. Just kind of taken up a notch overall on a lot of the difficulty strain.
Yeah, and holding a bit more back on the diff spikes, as it should.
Yep. All right, Hidden 3 this weekend. Another low AR pick. Liz Triangle's L50, mapped by Sagu. Another Nope KJK replay for this one.
And this a little bit on the lengthier side. Pretty much more like reading focused than anything we've had so far. Less left hand, as well. Hidden 1 and Hidden 2 both have had their fair share amount of streams. I think, if I remember correctly, there is a like little bit of a streamy section in the middle, but I thought it was lower BPM. I think this might be variable BPM. This does not look like 195. Yeah, a lot of these awkward overlaps and more like linear patterns sometimes. Definitely that focus on the aim though.
Yeah, it seems like it almost at first glance seems like a return to some of the just like awkward aim AR hidden stuff that you have early stage in a lot of open map pools, but you can definitely see where a lot of the reading strain does come from in this pick, so I think it's going to be a little bit harder than it looks at first glance for this map.
I think that little section was what I was thinking about when I said I was remembering a streamier section. Unless there's another like streamier section after this that's escaping my memory.
Last weekend there was a lot of really rough scores on the low approach rate hidden. I actually think scores are going to be higher on this map than they were last weekend, despite the fact that this is really long and despite the fact that there's like rhythm change sections like this. Just because of the fact that I think a lot of this is going to be more comfortable than full alt.
This was a stream.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the stream you were thinking of.
So that's the stream I was thinking of. Okay. A lot later in the map than I remembered. And I bet you're gonna see some misses on that ending, but yeah, that's about it for the map. Pretty much an AR8 consistency test with a few overlaps.
And
So we're going into the harder pool.
Yep, into Resoa Live by Baru. This is Down's map set of this one, and I pray for anyone who sees the face in this background in their dreams at night, because God, what did he do to the background of this map?
Yeah, Down and I think Belmson, they have a lot of these like remasters of some older sets with fucked up backgrounds. Yeah, just as per usual, I want to say, other than for the finals, after the feedback we got on that. Just a streamier Node 1. This was custom for OKT, the Korean 1v1 tournament. I've seen it in a few other places as Nomad 1 and hated it, but yeah, in Hard Rock 1 I think it fits perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty basic aim map. I don't know, there's not a lot to talk about with Hard Rock 1. It's like Nomad 1, right? It's jumps, guys. It's more jumps. Wow. Incredible. The one slot in Hard Rock has jumps. Oh my god.
And actually, fun fact, lengthier
wow.
than Nomad 1.
Wow. This is fucking groundbreaking. Holy. I mean, yeah, there's like that. It's Hard Rock 1. I don't know. There's not a lot to talk about with this pick. I would just say, like, there's... Even with the Nomad 1 that we had, most of the quote-unquote bursts in this map have just been triples or quints so far, which is really not that bad. Are there, like, stream sections later on in this map? Because it does not seem super streamy at the moment.
And it's at least from my memories, it doesn't have any actual long streams, like diff spike streams. It's just a lot burstier and a lot more like 3 and 5 node bursts, just throughout the entire map. Like here in these like PI sections, a lot more aim, but you can see those like stacked bursts. Maybe because they're stacked, they don't look like they appear that often. And because Nope just hitting everything.
It seems, for one thing, a lot harder than the star rating. I mean, even being like close to 7.5 stars. Not even actually. Wow, it's only 7.3 stars. Yeah, seems a lot harder than the star rating. The jumps on this are really consistently hard. It looks like, and I think this is gonna feel much harder than 7.3 stars to most players.
Yeah, I think in like currently mechanics is like the strongest skill set, so it shouldn't shake too many players. It being a little bit on the harder side, as it is like just a mechanics map. Like in the end, on mechanics stuff, you usually still see it possible FCs in very late stage and very hard pools, simply because it's just that common to be good at mechanics. And I wouldn't even say it's that much harder.
Yeah, I'm not even saying necessarily too hard, just much harder than what the star rating would say for this pick. Like Nomad 1 was close to 7.5 stars, that seemed balanced. This is only 7.3. It does not seem like a 7.3 star map. This seems much closer to 7.5 stars. maybe slightly on the hard side even compared to No Mod 1, but obviously still within range. Just I think
I guess blame it being mapped by Down, who's always on the start.
True. True. All right, going on to Hard Rock 2 now. This is Camellia Nanahira collab for the song Volmix, mapped by set is by Fisky, mapped by YF BMP.
Our beloved Chinese mapper. Yeah, just going off on a little bit on last week's, which we didn't actually see get played. It was banned in 7 matches and then ignored in 1. So even from like it not being played and nothing, at least from memory, being mentioned about it in feedback, still adjusting a little bit based off that. Not as much slider focus, a lot more flow focus. Still that slider and low BPM finger control. And like just the slot being a fucked up map. Simply put.
Yeah, a lot of really weird spacing emphasis in this map. A lot of really odd flow aim stuff going on in this pick, and a lot of repeat sliders as well in this map.
Yes. Speaking of a map being on the start, yeah, 6.3 stars. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah, pretty easy. Oh, 6.4 apparently, so just slightly buffed in like laser star rating. Yeah, but still balanced, I think. And yeah, that's basically like a little short map. Just that fucked up, basically, Hard Rock 2 slot that we're starting to get used to now. Wouldn't be surprised to see this perma banned as well.
Well, hopefully the Hard Rock 3 slot, I think, we'll probably see a little bit more play this weekend. Kind of similarly to last weekend, actually.
Yeah, I think... so this is just a box standard precision test. Which is also why we've gone, like, it's a little bit higher star rating than the previous Hard Rock 3s. This was one of the low, and this is like the buffed version of a Japan tournament custom. On this maps it does like two other difficulties that are like from the Japan tournament. I don't remember if this one was used. According to the description, at least, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. She saw a couple of 1/6 here in the intro. Other than that, it's basically just a raw precision test, rather than leaning into that slider aim from last week's.
Yeah, we're back to with Raji no Hidaryude, a lot of polygonal pattern aim. A lot of 1/6 quads in this map, also a little bit flow aimy at times, but you said largely pretty standard precision test. You tend to see a lot of short, hard to aim streams and a lot of pattern aim, which is exactly what this map does.
And also with the map being like simpler than last week, like as a map just being simple, not in terms of difficulty. I am expecting a few higher scores, but I think that's mostly just due to the map itself. Nothing with like the difficulty being easier. It will just be a bit more comfortable for the actual like precision players.
Yeah, ending is a little bit crazy, but other than that, this is looking like a very, very balanced overall precision pick in Hard Rock. To go on to I think probably one of the most common map pools to see picked up. Basically picked every single match is Speed. DT1 probably the least picked DT map.
That's not DT1.
That is not DT1. That's DT1. There we go. Double click the wrong map card. That's a very long name. Song by Ty Leaf, mapped by Impure Bugs. Mentai's expert on this song.
Yeah, a bit different from the DT ones we've had so far. It is leaning it's still aim, it's still 10.3. It is leaning a bit more into awkward. It is still, however, aim. And of course at like the usual like 250 BPM, roughly. Also quite an underplayed map. If I remember correctly from the leaderboards, there's like a single hidden double time FC at 96% from a 4-digit tournament player. And a few A ranks. And then the DT only leaderboard is just a C rank pass. Just a C rank, like a single C rank pass.
Little odd then. I think this is probably just underplayed if that's the case. Because very, very clearly this is doable on the double time.
Yeah, our 3 player here, Kneesocks12, also known as Deuce. Just FCing it, I think.
I think this is an FC, I can't remember. Maybe a miss near the end. I think that was an A rank.
It's definitely an S rank. It just remember the score being barely over 1 million and not like 1.1. If it is an FC, it's the highest stack FC and the second FC on the map, and it was done like last second before the showcase, so definitely underplayed. But probably because of like the map itself being on a bit more awkward side.
Yeah, definitely not your like standard Kawari or Kuki DT jump map, right? Like you have a lot of weird slider aim stuff, a lot of awkward wide angle jumps in this map. And AR 10.3, those are very difficult to deal with for a lot of players. Wow, that is.
Do we count that as an FC?
Nah. Yeah, he just missed. He missed how many slider ends? He missed about 65 slider ends on that map.
64.
Yeah, 64 slider ends dropped. Unfortunate drop slider ends there on the 12-100 play. But yeah, let's go on to DT2 this week. I think DT2 last weekend was definitely an interesting pick. So I'm looking forward to see what Carol Megamix brings this weekend, mapped by Thinking on AGT's set.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, that's DT2. All right. Oh,
yeah, leaning a bit into those longer streams. Of course, the mapper himself, Thinking, known for being good at this type of map. And as you can probably guess from the replay name, this is Spontaneous Lose. Yeah, just bog standard generic DT2, I'd say. Not a lot of finger control like we've had so far. Still a little bit with those doubles. It's just that the actual like bursts and speed strain is a lot more prevalent.
yeah. I mean, there's definitely some parts of this map that are a little tricky to either read or use the finger control for. This section in particular definitely comes to mind, but a lot of the earlier double sections and some transitions from stream to stream seem a bit awkward, especially at 235 BPM.
I would not be surprised to see someone go in and double tap this, because the streams are actually just, yeah, stacked, basically. Like really low spacing. It's very double tappable.
So yeah, that is the double time too. I think very, very different from last week's double time too. So a little more variability in some of the map pool slots from week to week, which I think can be a good thing. Keeps things fresh for the players and viewers, and makes it so that every match isn't super predictable all of the time. Let's get into double time 3 as well, which this slot in particular has been one that has been pretty similar from week to week, and I think this map is also going to be relatively similar to what we've seen in DT3 from week to week so far. UN by Kawada Mami, mapped by Reiji Maigo.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually say it's been too similar. Like the general idea behind it, of course, the same. Yeah. But we've had a few problems, I'd say, a few blunders, which were we had some positive feedback, let's say, on last week's DD3, so it has been going a lot better.
Yeah, I'm more so talking about just the style of map. The super high BPM old style map pick has been there pretty much every single week since the start of the tournament, and it's not going anywhere here in finals or grand finals, I assume. As you have, once again, 276 BPM this week. Okay, 4 BPM off of what it was last weekend, but AR 9.67 OD9 super high BPM burst map with old style awkward aim.
Yeah, this time the map does have a little bit more overlap elements. As you can see, for example, in those jumps, instead of being like actual jumps, they're just overlapping a little bit. Definitely something just to keep in mind when practicing. Pay attention to like overlaps. They're all over the map, so it's not like the hardest to remember, I'd say. Yeah, for this, just the old like grid style mapping, but modernized, basically. That's the conclusion we've come to.
One thing to note with this map as compared to stuff like the DT2 or DT3s in a lot of other tournaments, like in OWC for example, is that there is some stuff in this map that's hard to read, right? Like this is used as an AR8 hidden or a free mod in a lot of tournaments, and so some of these aim patterns are not trivial. You do need to be on your toes for reading when playing this map, so you're not going to be able to just kind of mash your way through and turn your brain off on this pick.
Yeah, mashing that's for DT2 this week.
Yeah. Wow, that miss sucked. That miss sucked. Wow. That is a sad miss.
Very unfortunate miss. Make sure to practice.
And that brings us to the last DT pick of the pool. Ready 2 by Michiru Kagemori. It's a Mir map. Collab Insane difficulty by Mir.
Yeah, collab with Kujin, also known as Reform. People know Reform as a farm mapper, but he's a very underrated, low diff tech mapper. In general, tech mapper, but more known for his low diffs. He's collabing with Mir, who people know Mir as like a tech mapper. Combining the lower BPM from last week's burger map with a bit more tech, a bit more of that gimmick rather than raw finger control. And the second 10.3 map.
Finally, AR 10.3 DT4. After how many weeks in a row of AR 10.1 DT4? I feel like it's been 3 or 4 weeks now in a row.
Were they actually all 10.1?
I think it was all 10.1 actually, yeah. I'm pretty sure
that was accidental. The only thing I was The only thing I was saying is not 10.3 until finals.
Yeah. Yeah, this map definitely a return to some of the super weird stuff that we had in some of the previous DT4 slots, but still at a pretty fast 217.5 BPM this week, so I think still within the realm of most speed players rather than, for example, on a lot of the alt picks in GT, some of the alt players were just very good at them as long as they could read the high approach rate, so this one, I don't think that's going to be the case. Even if you're a tech player, you're going to need both your high approach rate and speed pretty well on point for this map.
Also, finally, the return of Nob KGK after a little bit of a break from DT1 and DT2. Oh, and DT3, which was the Kiddo. Yeah, the map might feel like a step up. I think that's just a problem with last week's map. This feels a lot more in line with the pool, while last week's was just a lot more comfortable. Not much gimmick, just a little bit of finger control. And expect this style of map also in Grand Finals.
All right, and that is going to bring us into the last modded pool, starting with free mod 1. It is Chariot, the expert difficulty by Otosaka Yu. It's an Usao song in free mod 1 this week.
We love Usao. So this, can you call this tech? It's like in between, like awkward and well, it's just awkward tech, yeah.
This is
quite
this
a
is
few.
definitely tech.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of mixed opinions during like testing the pool and making it. Some people were calling it a hidden map. Some people were calling it insta hard rock. I guess that means it's balanced. Just really big circles if you're going normal or hidden. And AR9. Pretty standard if you're going hard rock, just awkward from the mapping style.
I think one thing that
low
makes this map
BPM.
probably deceptively hard with hard rock is the fact that slider leniency decreases with OD. So the higher OD on hard rock is going to make aiming the sliders, keeping slider ends intact a lot harder with hard rock. Obviously AR9 with hidden on this map is going to make it feel really, really awkward and really, really dense, especially with all the perfect overlaps in this map. I mean, this is kind of overlap hell. So many perfect overlaps in this pick, but yeah, I think hard rock is still going to bring its fair share of difficulty despite the higher circle size on this pick.
Yeah, I can already see in chat the discrepancy. This looks hard with hidden. And I think... Did I see anything? I guess not. Yeah, like a few funky sliders. It's the kind of map where you'd see like a 90s, nice little high 97 500k with hidden or normal, but then you put on hard rock and you like FC with 80% AC. And this is indeed that song from OWC Grand Finals DT4, but not the extended version.
Alright, that is going to bring us to free mod 2 now. So free mod 1, relatively low BPM, weird snap aimy slider reading map. This one now, what do we have for this pick? But Monty's sound team has Eva. It's Vitrum, mapped by Lance Cosmico, Werf's extreme difficulty.
Yeah, so Mod 1, a lot more snap. This leans a bit more into less sliders, more circles, and more flowing. And a little bit more finger control as well. Like you had those 2 1/6 bursts. There's a lot more in this one. This is also not A or 9, so this is a bit more into hidden favor. And I don't remember what contest this was. This is one of those mega sets with a bunch of contest difficulties. So you can see in the diff name the placement of the mapper. So Wafwerf, the Danish guy, at number 9. Yeah, as you can see, a lot more into the actual flow aim and left hand control. More mechanics basically.
This is really, really tricky map though. I mean, the flow aim in this plus the finger control already is just absolutely bonkers. This is not looking like an easy free mod pick, that's for sure. We had a lot of very good hidden plays on, it was free mod 1 this week, the Halia map. I feel like this may be another one of those sorts of maps at AR 9.6 for hidden and no mod players in particular. Hard Rock on this map just looks really evil with all of the accuracy changes. So I think we may see a lot of overmods hidden on this pick. If I had to guess at a mod that was favored on this.
Yeah, I can definitely see some people still opting in for Hard Rock if they are more comfortable on Hard Rock as a mod. Simply because it's CS3, so you don't get punished much. Only a little bit on the AC. But everyone is gonna have trouble on AC, as you can see from this replay.
Yeah. All right. Last map of the normal mod pools, Free Mod 3. No, Free Mod 3. There we go. Out of order by Takanashi Yasuharu. The Determination difficulty by Mordred, and of course the AR8 CS5 free mod pick.
Finally bringing out the Corsair/OWC maps from this year. This was Corsair 2021. I don't remember which pool.
I think I saw finals. I think I saw finals while I was looking at the maps before Showcase.
Yeah, just that classic Mordred Caligula map. We had it was a different one that was in OWC, I think, last year, 2020, and then also 3WC. So keeping traditions. Fairly standard, mostly aim. So a few bursts every now and then like those. I think a lot more comfortable on Hard Rock than Hidden. Could still see some people picking Hidden on this. We might even see some easies on this, I think. I think it's what would the opposite of dense be?
Just low density, really. I mean,
yeah,
just low combo density, low note density sort of pick. The only really dense parts of this are the streams, but the jumps themselves don't really overlap all that much, so it does make for things like easy to be relatively takeable. Although modern mapping style on this does make it a little bit more tricky to deal with easy reading.
I wouldn't even call this like proper modern. Also short map, so easy to learn. So did the oh yeah, this replay is from Rezoa. He also did No Mod 1 and he did them offline, so there's no name.
Alright, that's gonna be it for the normal maps. We're now on to the last map of the map pool. It is the Tiebreaker Lullaby by Hisatomi, mapped by She Love Lando. Ranked map for the Tiebreaker this weekend. and community favorite song.
Yeah, a lot of people know the C-Mob map of this, which is in Loft. This is like an actual more, I want to say more properly mapped, because C-Mob is like one of those mappers that he gets a lot of hype for mapping hype maps that are playable. This is just a lot more 2021 mapping. So yeah, that's a little like Tapioca, but I think a bit more consistent in terms of streams and bursts. Not like half tech, half consistency. Not even that much tech, like proper tech. Mostly just slider jumps between the streams.
Yeah, much less space stream focus on this map. Far more, I think, balanced skill set wise. A lot of aim, a lot of bursts and some longer streams. A lot of slider jumps in this map. A lot of wonky slider shapes and buzz sliders in this. Just generally a hard map with a lot of stuff going on. I think the biggest thing we haven't seen in this map, and that we probably won't see just because of the song, is like alt style patterning or lots of high spacing 1/3 in this map, but it covers everything else pretty well aside from that.
And it might take a little bit of getting used to, especially if you're like, if you do like live streams and take map requests. You've probably gotten requested the C-Mob map of this, so it might take a little bit getting used to this map, since it's not just space stream spam. This is also what like a Nomad 4 you would call Avalon build. Slider theory, overlap theory. I don't know, mapping words.
Very few FCs on the leaderboard for this map, by the way. I believe this was actually a replay we took from Malashevsky and converted to V2. He has number 1 on this map with Hidden. I think this is that replay, just converted to V2 and Nomad. But yeah, very, very few full combos on the leaderboard for this. There's 5 in total, no, 4 in total. Zudinator with a slider break play with Hidden. So yeah, not very many full combos on this map. Also a map where Nomad 700 is possible with very, very good act. This is a hard map, man. This is a very hard map. Really high star rating, kind of relentless in streams and aim and reading, just kind of everything all over the place. I mean, the intensity doesn't really change too much throughout the song either, which makes the whole tiebreaker really, really hard.
While waiting, I actually have some statistics ready from this week. You could have a quick look. Let me send them to you. Unfortunately, as you can see, they're highlighted in this screenshot. Hard Rock 2. 7 bans and the one time it was left open, it just wasn't picked.
Sad. Yeah, very low scores on a lot of the Nomad picks actually last weekend. Nomad, Hidden, and Hard Rock all having very low scores overall. Double Time, though. Double Time and Free Mod. A lot of very high scores in those mod categories. But Hidden and Hard Rock, the highest score was 2.1 million on Hidden 2. So, yeah, relatively difficult maps this weekend in the usual mod categories. So, I think this week's Mappool is going to see a lot of really good scores actually from a lot of these players, especially it is finals weekend. You're going to ramp up practice a bit, so I think it's going to be fun to watch this week.
Yeah, we're probably going to see higher scores, like individual scores, but maybe like a bit lower team scores as we get into like the more skill cappy rounds.
Yeah. That is going to do it for us for now for Mappool Showcase. Next weekend, we will have all 4 of the matchups that are remaining in finals. Hong Kong versus Indonesia in winners finals, and then France versus Brazil and South Korea versus China in losers bracket. Winner of those 2 matches faces off for the chance at top 3 and to continue their tournament run. So yeah, tune in next week, same channel. Join the Discord if you want to be posted on all of the match times. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Good luck.